people. I was just live a few minutes ago, but it got a little sketchy, so I'm gonna adjust a few things. Okay. And I actually it is great, things happen for a reason. So I was live a few seconds ago and things got a little scrambly. So as I was, changing up my whole setup, my message changed. And that's okay because I was like, ooh, this feels good. I'm glad this happened. Sometimes things happen for a reason, right? So in this video, I really wanted to talk about how it is so important that we make confidence our new normal. So I want to help you in this video learn how to normalize having a high self-confidence in your decisions, in the things that you do, and how you speak and how you show up, all of that. Because when you make it your normal, it's nothing you have to work toward because it just is who you are. And so I want to talk you through that a little bit. And I have my notes because my notes help me with my confidence. It helps me not feel like I'm rambling all over the place because I like to talk a lot. So anyway, when it comes to making confidence your new normal, the first part is really making a decision. You get to decide that confidence is who you are. When you decide who you are and you really kind of put all of your energy into being what you say you desire to be, it is hard for you not to do things aligned with what you said you are and who you decide to be. If you decide I'm going to be a kind person, I'm going to be a person of integrity, I'm going to be an honest person. Yes, we can all say it's hard to change. At the end of the day, when we are rock solid in who we say we're going to be, it's almost impossible. And I say almost because, sometimes things happen. It's almost impossible to make any actions that are opposed to what you have literally grounded yourself in. So the first thing and the most important thing is to deliberately decide, I am a confident person. Now, the reason that people don't stick with that is because we mistakenly say that if I say I'm confident and I act like I'm confident, that means I don't get to make mistakes. And this is our minds playing tricks on us. Because who said that all because you're confident means you can't make mistakes? You are a human being. Human beings are not error-free. So there is no such thing as anyone that is confident and doesn't make mistakes. You are a human. That is going to happen. But in our minds, we feel like, hey, if we exude confidence, if we show up too confidently, that means that we think we're perfect or we think we're everything, and people are going to think that. And if they think that, I can't possibly mess up, and that's just too much for us. So sometimes we'd rather back up, we'd rather shrink versus showing up fully as ourselves, because if we show up fully as ourselves, that means we can't make a mistake. And that is absolutely not true. It may feel like that's true because people have, this history of really calling people out when they see them acting in a way that's opposing what they are. But that doesn't mean that something is wrong with you and you should not call yourself confident. It's not being a hypocrite, right? If you suddenly get cold feet before you're supposed to do something that is really important or do something where you know you need to show up, it doesn't mean you're not confident. It just means you're human. It just means you had a fear just like anything else, but it doesn't make you not that person. And so I like to use sports as an example, and the ones that I did the most was like volleyball, track, and dance. And I know some people feel funny about saying dance is a sport, whatever. I'm an athlete. I'm a dancer, I'm a runner, and I'm also a volleyball person. And so all because you don't go to practice one day, or all because you don't win a race, or all because you miss a step in choreography does not make you not that person that has taken the time to practice, to study, to do all the things to really embody a form or technique. It just means you're human. It just means you're on the path to learning. So all because you did not exude a confidence that one day in band camp, that one time or 2 times or 10 times, it doesn't matter. You are on the path of becoming more confident in your abilities, whatever those abilities are, because we typically will attribute confidence to a specific skill or behavior. And when we don't see ourselves growing or killing that skill or behavior, we immediately feel like we don't have the confidence. But again, confidence is when you decide. When you decide that I am going to be this person that does this skill or behavior, then that's just who you are. And you are going to do habits that are aligned with who you are. And as you are growing in those habits, you are going to get better at them. And you are going to do the things to perfect those things. A lot of times when we say we don't have confidence, what we're really saying to ourselves is that I keep making mistakes, or I'm not seeing myself at this level 10 game quick enough. And so because I don't see myself at that right now, I don't have the confidence to do it. And so we shrink. We immediately shrink just because we're not at a 10. And so again, one way, decide that this is who you are. And when you decide this is who you are, it's going to be a lot easier to just stay the course and stay the path, regardless of whether you make mistakes or not. And that's actually the second thing that I have listed, is that if you want to normalize being confident in whatever, skill set or area that you desire to be in, or just a self-confident person, because I think that there is a thing about being confident in one thing and then being a confident person. And so you can decide, I want to be a confident person no matter what skill set I'm doing. I'm confident in who I am and what I bring. And if there's something I don't know, that doesn't mean I'm not confident. I'm actually so confident, I'll ask a question, or I'll see if someone else can help me with it, because I'm confident that I can find the answers that I need to the problems that I have, right? So when you decide that you want to be a confident person, or you want to perfect your confidence in a certain skill or behavior, you have to know that it's actually okay if things don't always happen the way it seems. I had to look down at my notes. It's always good to see, to know that there are going to be times when things don't go your way, and the way you see the outcome will help you continue to strengthen your confidence. And what I mean by that is, if you fail, or if something doesn't go the way you thought it would go, even though you practiced, you put your time in and all of that, there is something about seeing it with this glass half full perspective from a positive intelligence perspective. So I'm also a positive intelligence coach. And when we talk about positive intelligence, the thought about positive intelligence is, how can you make decisions and rule those decisions through the lens of experiencing positive emotions. And so if something happens that was a mistake, or something that we would consider a failure, how could we look at it as not a way to start bringing negative emotions to ourselves, which is like shame and guilt and creating fear and anxiety? How can we allow that experience to produce positive emotions like curiosity, like, oh, I wonder if I did this differently, how could I get a different result? Or, that probably happened for a reason. Maybe this was a gift for me. Maybe I didn't need to get this right now because of this. So it all comes down to perspective. Our perspective on what is happening will either make our confidence less than, we either shrink or lose confidence, lose our grounding, or we can strengthen our confidence, because our perspective on it has nothing to do with our self-worth, our value, our self-image, our self-esteem, the things that would help us be more trustworthy of our decision-making and our behavior. It's in fact on strictly the situation at hand, and looking at it separate from ourselves and our abilities, so that we can get better at what it is that we're working through. So the more that you can have a different perspective on what happens, regardless of if it's air quotes in your favor, or if it's something that causes you to have to really just take feedback so you can make a different decision, that will determine how it allows you to normalize success, and in turn normalizing confidence. Because if you see it as a glass half full, right? If you see it as more of a glass half full, and you're looking at the gift and opportunity that comes with, something that would be seeming like a failure, then you would have a stronger confidence to do it again, to do something different, to find a different way to get to the solution. And when you do that, it helps you to normalize confidence, that when things happen, you're not looking at it as like, oh, I want to throw it away, this is never going to be good. and whatever, because sometimes we have done that to ourselves. We have normalized shaming ourselves, guilting ourselves, making ourselves feel bad when something doesn't go correctly. And as a result, it takes, a stab at our self-confidence. And it doesn't have to be that way. We just get to shift our behavior. Shift our perspective. So the next time that there's something that you're working on, a skill, a behavior that you want to get better at, and something kind of falls through the cracks, I would like you to just practice, right? Having a different perspective. How can you get curious? It's like, yo, this keeps happening. I wonder what I can do differently to help this have a different result, right? I wonder if I can incorporate some accountability to help me get a different result. I wonder if I, use this tip or strategy that someone told me about, and maybe I would get a different result then. I wonder if I am really just super anxious or have a lot of anxiety around this, and that's why I keep stumbling every time this happens. I wonder how I could relax more, take care of myself more, have a better focus, maybe take some time and visualize myself at a place that is more successful than where I am right now, and that'll help me get a different result. You see how I did that, right? Using all those different tips and strategies could be ways to help you practice when things don't necessarily go the way you thought they should go, and using that to shift your perspective on, oh, something's wrong with me, to, okay, I get to make some adjustments, and that's okay. Nothing's wrong with me. I just need to adjust. I'm learning. It's a track, right? This is life here, right? And so that's a way that we can build our confidence, by being curious, having grace and empathy with ourselves instead of beating ourselves up about a thing. And those can be ways that help us stay the course, get back on the wagon, all the things that people say that are really just, ways to help us be more consistent. Because the more consistent you are in whatever skill or behavior that you're practicing, you're going to get better at it. And you're going to get better at it in a way that feels good when you use curiosity and empathy along the way versus shaming yourself, beating yourself up. Because even if you come back to the table, you're going to feel so worn down, you might not feel good about making the steps toward your goal, because you're doing things in a way that doesn't feel good to you. All right. The other part is that you have to believe that whatever you're working on is already done. Now, if there are some people out here that are faith-filled believers, then this is something that we get taught so much in faith. If people of God, we talk about faith all the time and believing in yourself and all of that. There is something about making sure that your belief is rooted in the desire that you have is already fulfilled. So for instance, if you are, looking for a different employment, or you want to grow in your career, and you're doing it from a place of, it's not a lot of work out here because of what's going on globally, and I have to be on my A game to do it. And because I got to be on my A game, man, there's so many other people that are better than me. I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but I'm just going to, try to do better than everybody, better than everybody else. And I'm going to just, keep my head down and make it happen. Like, even me talking about it doesn't feel good at all, right? Like, I'm already in this competitive mode. I'm already in this scarcity mode. There's almost like a belief that it's not enough out here. So I have to work hard and do this and work over all these people. And this doesn't mean you don't work hard, for all of those cynics in the streets, because, I'm a recovering cynic as well. It's not about not working hard. It's like, what am I working hard at? Trying to be better than other people? Am I working on hard at, being in competition with people, I can't even see or know, and I have no idea what an employer is thinking when they see my stuff versus somebody else's? I can't make that up in my head, right? All I can do is be very sure of my gifts and talents, being very sure that whatever job, whatever thing is in front of me is for me, and that I'm going to put my best self out there all the time. And this is practice. I know it sounds so whatever, but it has gotten me so far in my life because it doesn't keep me kind of bound to feeling like everybody else has the power to do the things that I want in my life, and I don't have the power. It's almost like you give the power to these employers or these other people that are applying for jobs over the power that you have to get the thing that you desire, because it's already yours. And so if it's not one job, it's another. And so that's just the example of looking for a position. How can you already believe that whatever you desire is yours? And when I say that, I also mean believing that it's yours unattached, in the sense of this leaning back, right? It's kind of like somebody being super thirsty. And so if you've been in any dating streets over the years, it's like this thought of being thirsty. When someone is like super thirsty, they're like always asking, you if you want to go out, or constantly reaching out to you, and you have given very clear disinterest, but they keep coming at you and there's just no interest. It doesn't mean you're being rude, but you're just, not interested. And so sometimes, people will call that, being thirsty. And so we don't want to have this, kind of thirstiness about just needing. And because there is something very unattractive about the need, especially when you can do for yourself. And so it's really important that even though you desire a specific employer, or you desire a certain customer, or you desire to have a change in relationship, we only can control ourselves. We can't control or make other people change. And so we have to get what we need from ourselves. And what that means is, okay, if you're not getting a response from a certain person, you don't have to put any bad energy out there about it. You get to just believe bigger that whatever you desire is still available to you. You don't have to be fixated on this one person, this one company, this one client, this one customer. There are so many ways for you to get what you desire in your life, that you can just believe big enough that whatever you desire, you will have. And you will have it regardless of who is getting something else that might look like it. Does this make sense? I hope so, because it's feeling good to me. And so when you already believe that something is actually yours, it's going to heighten your confidence, and it's going to normalize confidence for you. There's something so powerful when you actually list out the things that you desire to have and already know it's done. And so I really want you to ask yourself this: if you already knew that the things that you desired have already been granted to you, they're already somewhere in your in your possession, like when you think about the things that you might not physically see them right now, but you already know they're in your possession. It's really similar to having a parent or having a friend that promises to give you something, and they always give you something. Like when they say what they're gonna say, they mean it. So I want you to imagine the person that you love, a parent, a family member, a friend, and their word is their bond. Like when they say they're going to do something, they do it. So you already know you have it. You already know you possess it. You already know that it's coming, it's just not in your hand yet. How do you operate? I want you to imagine, how do you operate? How do you move along your day? What are you thinking? What are some of the things that you're doing? What is the disposition of your heart and your mind when you already know someone that you know, love, care about, trust is going to give you the thing you asked for? I can tell you what I think and how I operate. I am at complete peace. I am not super anxious. I don't worry about whatever thing I'm doing in that day, if it's going to make them change their mind, right? I am totally chill, confident that whatever it is that I desire, it's still mine regardless. And this is what will help you gain the confidence to be confident all the time and know that what you want is already yours all the time. If you want to normalize self-confidence, normalize that what you have desired is already yours just because you desired it. It doesn't mean you don't do anything. I don't want you to get crazy, right? It doesn't mean there's nothing to be done, but it is something about the belief, right? Belief is not a strategy, but it has to be a part of your strategy. It's like hope is not a strategy, but it does need to be a part of your strategy. If you believe, if there's belief and hope around the thing that you say you desire, like it's already yours, that actually helps you get even more aligned to what steps need to be taken to get there. Case in point, I knew that I desired to have a business. I knew I desired to have a business. I knew I desired to have a coaching and speaking business. I already knew it was mine. there was no question in my mind that that was something that I could not have, that it was out of reach, that it wasn't available to me. And I knew I would have clients, and I knew people would pay me. This is what I know, right? Because I know the energy that I have. I know the work that I've done. I've gotten enough validation externally, heavenly, and, internally from myself that I could do the work and be paid. I wasn't worried about that. So with that in mind, I have to walk out these steps on a daily basis, like what I desire is mine. And so what does that mean? I talk to people about my services confidently. I'm able to talk about my pricing confidently. I'm not worried about whether or not someone didn't buy something when I pitched it to them. Sometimes I get in these social media streets and I feel so bad, for people that talk about friends and family or people are not supporting me. It's such a scarcity mindset, because it's this thought that, only the people that I see and know are the only people that are available to make my business grow. And as a result, if I don't see them doing that, then my business must not be great or it must suck, right? And so sometimes we're looking for so many external validations that we don't do the first thing, which is we have to believe first. So how can you believe in yourself first, believe in the things that you desire to do first? And as a result, that is one big part of making confidence your normal, because your belief is like sky high. When your belief is sky high on the things that you desire to do, it totally normalizes success for you. Especially because once you really begin to feel what it feels like to be successful, to feel what it feels like to be confident, then you tell yourself that this is what I do all the time. And as a result, you're getting those outcomes. You're getting the things that you said you wanted so quickly and so consistently. It's almost like you can't make yourself believe otherwise. Even if you have a long stint of not getting something that has been on your mind or been on your heart, you are so confident in what has happened in the past or even what's happening presently, with everything you have in front of you, it's not unreachable. It's just not in your physical presence right now, right? And so one of the bonus pieces that I wanted to add to all of this is that the biggest challenge in making confidence your normal is going to be your mind. And the reason being is that it's going to be challenging for your mind to accept that you are confident in this new skill, this new behavior, or just in yourself. That is going to be the challenge that you have to overcome, is your mind telling you like, no, remember, you don't do this. No, remember, this is not who you are. Especially if you are deciding to do and behave in a way that is really different from what you've been over the last couple of years. It's really challenging for your mind, because if you've been doing something for like a decade or 2 decades for most of your life, and if you've been told something for years and years and years, it's really challenging for your mind to normalize something different. And so you may allow your thoughts to make you feel like the thing that you want is out of reach, but it's just your mind being challenged. And so this is not to, kind of make you retreat. It's really to help you just get really self-aware. And one way to overcome that challenge that your mind is going to come with is to really start feeling what it feels like to have what you're thinking about having. And this is what I mean by that. I did a video, you should watch it, on visualization. And when you can visualize what it is that you want before you have it, or desire before you have it, and feel what it feels like to have it. And so I love to use the example of food. I love food. And if you're anything like me and any other human being, when you start thinking about that meal that you really like, you already start salivating. You already know what it feels like when you're going to, get that first scoop of ice cream. You already know what it's gonna feel like. You already know, like, the endorphins, the dopamine, all the things that are going to come as a result. You're going to have so much joy after having, that favorite meal or that favorite food. And so your body is already accustomed to what it's like to receive that. And so the same thing is what you need to create for the other things that you desire. So if it is, you desire to start that business, or you desire to speak, you desire to coach, you desire to have more joy in your relationships, and maybe you haven't had a lot of that because of so many other reasons. Maybe you desire to show up differently as a leader at work or a leader in your business, or you just want to show up better so that you can be, great at some of the philanthropic efforts that you're working on. Whatever it is, you get to picture it in your mind, but you also get to feel what it's like to be successful in that space. One of the biggest ones that I've done recently, and I've actually been helping a lot of my clients do, is like feel what it feels like to be financially free. Right? And so that's a whole nother war. That's a whole nother video. I was about to say it's a whole nother war because, a lot of times we're fighting up against things that we've experienced financially in our childhood or even in our adulthood that may not have been the greatest feelings. It could be the feelings of being broke, or the feelings of being in a lot of debt, or the feelings of having some, interesting relationship or family conflicts as it relates to money. So sometimes when we think about it, it can create anxiety, it can create fear. And so really helping ourselves, relax our bodies and really feel what it would feel like in our body to have a lot of income and being able to securely manage that income and being able to do it from a place of calm. So you see the way that I'm talking, I even feel calm talking like this. But the more that we can teach our body how to feel those things, is going to help our minds, because our minds over time are reacting to what our body does, right? It's kind of like if you've been scared of dogs your whole life and you see a dog or you hear something about anything related to dogs, you might tense up right away, right? I just did that. That was for effect. You might tense up right away. The same things happen with other things in our life, but we're just not conscious of it because we're going through life like a hamster, running on a little wheel. And because of that, we're just not totally aware of it. But I want you to get aware of the things that you don't feel super confident about. What skills, what behaviors, when you think about showing up big in your life, what are the parts of that new version of yourself that causes you to retreat, like causes you to sit back and wonder if you're ready for it. And I want you to really get into your body, like, what am I feeling? Like, is my chest hurting? Is my head hurting? Does it make me breathe fast? Because I just don't know what I'm going to do. And really take some time to journal. What are some of those thoughts that are coming through your head? Like, what are the things that are really a hesitation for you? And when you start getting really self-aware of those hesitations, it's going to better help you overcome the challenges that come when you are looking to normalize this. Because the more you, not this in terms of like your anxiety, but normalizing this, meaning the success of being more confident. When you want to normalize that, it's great to be aware of what is kind of in your way. What are those barriers? What are those hesitations? The more you know about those hesitations and those barriers and what they are, you can articulate them. When you feel it, you know that's what it is, and you can say, nope, my new thought is this. And so that could be something else that you use to help you as well, is that when you find yourself in that space where you're feeling those new thoughts, relax your body and give yourself, the old thought, give yourself the new thought, right? So if the old thought is, oh, I'm not really good at money and I feel so insecure with money, if you notice yourself feeling the way that insecurity feels when you get, thoughts about having more money, and you start feeling anxiety and you start avoiding questions about, finances, then you get to give yourself a new thought. And then the biggest thing is that after you give yourself that new thought, start taking a new action, right? Because new actions cement for yourself the new thoughts, and those new actions, after they cement those new thoughts, become beliefs for ourselves, and those beliefs will start running us. And we want to be run by the beliefs that are going to be connected to a high self-confidence, high confidence in the things that we desire to do, in the skill sets that we desire to have, in the new identity that we want to form for ourselves, so we can have what we actually desire in our life. I hope this is really good to you all. I know I kind of feel like I jumped around a little bit, but I feel good about what I said. Now, hopefully you caught something that resonated with you in this talk. I am having a class that is starting soon, meaning this week, around shifting your identity. And when I talk about shifting your identity, I'm totally talking about how can you be this biggest version of yourself on a regular basis instead of bouncing up and down between this confident person, this future you that you see, and you're only being it part-time, being a part-time lover to it, instead of being that new you on a regular basis. And so I want to help you do that so that you can shift your behavior and be on the journey of really stepping into your new you. Stepping into your new you, which is really the essence of who you are. You just haven't allowed that person to come out yet. And so I love working with women entrepreneurs and leaders, professionals that have decided that, you know what, I'm where I'm at right now and I've had a lot of success, but there's another level of success that I want to have in my relationships, in my business, in my personal life, in my leadership at work. And you're like, I'm tired of being the way that I am right now. I've been this, I've made this my normal. This has been that standard of excellence. And I know that there's another level so I can experience a new level of joy, income, impact, influence, and all the things. And if that is you, go to my website, run to my website. That's DesireeCocroft.com. And go ahead and click on courses. And that course, Identity Shift, is starting this week. There is rolling enrollment, so there will be recorded sessions. If you don't catch it right away, you can catch it as it moves along, but it will be me teaching live. And if you just catch it after I start, then you'll get the recorded sessions. But I would love to see you in there, especially if you are ready to make some changes now versus waiting until the new year and all the things. I'll totally be making videos because of the new year, because everybody is looking to do things in the new year. We've been normalizing waiting until the new year to start things. But I am team, don't wait until the new year. Whatever day it is, decide that this is the day that you are going to make a change in your life. And that's how you're going to accelerate getting closer to the things that matter to you. So with that said, I hope that you make the decision to get aligned with who you desire to be so you can have what you've been thinking about every day and not be like thirsting for it, but like living in it because it is available to you. You can have it right now, and I hope you go and get it. So until the next time, I will talk to you all soon. I hope to see you in my class, and if not, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Ooh, drop my notebook.